what are we doing in the black community? The number one consumer of a Mercedes-Benz is us. Us. The number one consumer of a Gucci and a Louis Vuitton, us. And they don't even advertise. Why is it that in the black community, we are always the number one consumer, but we're not the number one creators?
So you just said it, the fact that there's consumers and creators. For so long, we assume success based on consumption.
Welcome to another episode of Closing the Gap, the Truth About Black Wealth. Of course, I'm your host, Mr. Wilbur Hamilton, owner and founder of Hamilton Wealth Advisors. We're blessed to continue our barbershop series today. We're here today with Mr. Francisco Lazo. Thank you, brother, for being here. He's owner and founder of Fade Factory, multiple locations, barbershops in the Huntsville, Madison area of Alabama. We're just thankful for him taking some time out today to, to kick some game with us and hopefully enlighten, enrich, and uplift our community. Because of course our goal here is to close the wealth gap, and we do that by sharing information. We do that by having insightful conversations and bringing the real. We want to meet people where they are, so we can hopefully help all of us to grow and thrive together. So we're gonna jump into it, man. I appreciate you being here, man, and taking a little time out with me. But we're gonna jump right into it. So you've been a barber by trade for a number of years now. And I got to give you a little bit of background on how I met Francisco. I had recently moved to the Madison area of Alabama, and he called me in a restaurant, and I must have not been too well put together, because he noticed and he said, "Hey man, I need to holler at you, man. You need to come see me." I'm like, "What's going on?" And I knew I wasn't quite all the way right, because I haven't found that barber right. Of course we know we need that barber. Of course, this is back when I still had a little bit more hair on my head. I still had a few waves left, and he's like, "Man, you need to come see me. I need to take care of you. Let me tighten you up a little bit." And from that point on, he's A1 from day one. So I definitely appreciate him. He definitely became my barber of choice, while I was there, and anytime I can definitely get back. And of course, he's been taking care of my sons for a number of years, and I'm always grateful and appreciative. They always trying to get back to him, so I'm thankful for that. But man, just take me back, if you will. So when did you start cutting?
So I started cutting, let's say, middle school. Really,
wow.
It really took a point where I needed a haircut, my brother needed a haircut. You don't have barbershop money, it's what are we gonna do? So got a pair of clippers from my cousin. He was in college at the time. He gave me his old pair, and that's when I started fading. Took maybe an hour and a half to do the bare minimum, but I actually started getting good at it. Then in middle school, my friends, "Hey man, I need a haircut. I need a lineup." Like, okay. Started doing that. Then the hall monitor started seeing us. He started getting a haircut. Then I wasn't the best student. In school suspension. All of a sudden he's like, "I'll let you cut my hair on lunch." So in school suspension teacher. And then I actually transitioned to the vice principal. So I actually started having a little operation that I really enjoyed at the time. I wasn't really charging anything. It was a passion. So years later, circled back around, and I was like, what am I gonna do? And it was cutting hair. It's like, it's not work, it's a passion. So anything you're passionate about, money will come. It's not the issue.
Always definitely believe in turn your passion into a profit, and definitely always follow. So one good thing I always like to talk about, and we like to speak about, is the difference between when you say you started cutting versus the transition to becoming a barber. So I could see that matriculation coming as your clientele started to grow, and it's, you say school wasn't necessarily how on the list of priorities at the time. So you say, you saw some, some success coming from, cutting hair. So when did that transition happen? You say we really took it serious. Say, I don't just want to, cut, but I want to become a professional barber.
So that took place when I actually moved to Alabama about 14 years ago.
Okay.
Come from a rough area in Jersey, and my mind wasn't all the way together. So when I took a step back and moved down south, I needed something to provide for my family. And I noticed that cutting hair was that outlet. And so I definitely wanted to take advantage of something I had passion in, and it just started transitioning from there. And then I said, you know what, this is what's gonna take me to the next level. I don't know what that next level is, but it's my outlet. And so that's about it right there.
Yeah, well, I mean, they say, your gift will make room for you. So he found his talent, he found his gift, and he found he had a passion for people. So we always talk about, here on the show is, for me, it's always, obviously turning your passion into profit, but also having a heart for people. So wanting to be of good service. So, being of service, allows you more opportunities because you're taking care of people. When you take care of people, we truly believe that obviously people take care of you. And obviously, people have been taking good care of you because you've been taking care of them. And I can speak from experience, I used to definitely take care of me, and I definitely need to get back so we can take some more care. But, so when you transition down to, Huntsville, obviously that could be a definite culture shock coming from up north, transitioning down to a little bit slower pace here we have in Alabama. What was that transition like as you started to matriculate from being, just someone who's cutting hair on the side to becoming a actual barber and transitioning to now actually having, your own shop?
So that transition, key was I started learning a lot more about relationships and trying to build a network of people. And so that was the most important thing for me was creating relationships that will be long term, because I saw the longer I took care of somebody, the more they became a part of my life, the more that they would pour into me. So that was very important.
Okay, well, like I say, you definitely, like I say, you always take care of people, people take care of you, but the biggest thing is you had a service heart first. And that's where we always start, and that's where I always believe your success and your blessings come from. And the reason why you were able to go from being someone who was cutting hair to becoming a barber and transitioning to someone who's actually now owning your own shop. And that was the natural growth and matriculation because you have a service heart. Be back in a minute. Welcome to Hamilton Wealth Advisors, where our goal is to change the financial landscape of the African American community by providing the best of the best in financial professionals to help close the gap on financial wellness, wealth creation, and wealth transference. We're continuing to expand and grow our reach and add qualified advisors to our team. Help us to teach our community how to create generational wealth. We're looking for passionate, selfless, and professional advisors that pride themselves in the core beliefs that education plus expertise leads to proper execution. So if you think this opportunity may be for you, ask yourself this question: what is your why? And if the answer is you want to be a professional successor advisor that makes a positive impact in the lives of all you come into contact with, contact us about joining our team today. As we look to move forward, continue to be a blessing to those who would never come into contact with by creating a successful financial plan today. Yes, and we're right back with you at Closing the Gap, the Truth About Black Wealth. Of course, we're here with Mr. Francisco Lazo, owner of the Fade Factory in Madison, Huntsville, Alabama. We're going to kind of dive back into it, man. And, you started out, cutting hair, started at school, from friends to family, to the principal, the in-school suspension director, and transitioned to, Alabama, becoming a barber and transitioning to now, having your own shop. So, tell me what has been the biggest difference you've noticed as you transition from each stage of entrepreneurship?
What was opportunity? So I didn't realize it then, even starting at a young age, they were trying to provide an outlet for me that was positive. So as I took advantage of that, and then I moved down south again. Then I realized someone gave me an opportunity again. And that was me becoming a barber and trying to establish something. Someone saw something in me once again that I didn't see it myself at the time. So when I was making the transition from a barber to a barbershop owner, that's when I realized now it's my turn to provide opportunity for others that might just not see that they have a passion, that they could become profitable, happy, and support their family.
Oh, absolutely. And like I say, it's one example of, like I say, your gift making room for you. It's, having a servant's heart, and being a person, of service, and I always say people are only successful as their opportunities. You can be the most skilled barber in the world, but if I don't give you opportunity to cut my hair by sitting in your chair, nobody can ever find out how good you are with them clippers.
Right.
Just like for me as a financial advisor, nobody can find out how good I am in my profession if they don't give me an opportunity. And the fact that you went from being provided an opportunity to now providing opportunities is going to speak to your continued growth, which is why it's not surprising to see that you transition from one shop to now multiple shops, because your gift is continuing to make room for you. So, tell me one of the biggest lessons that you've kind of learned, kind of along the way, as you've transitioned, as you've moved from the, just kind of taking care of yourself to now taking care of, obviously, a family, and also taking care of multiple barbers inside of your barber shops, what has been the kind of one of the big lessons that you've learned and something that you like to provide, to them?
So at first, I thought it was teaching them how to cut hair, but that's just the first step. The biggest lesson that I learned was teaching them how to become professionals, how to be responsible, and how to, when you create these relationships with clients, how to make sure that you are giving them the service that they need, providing that quality, consistency service.
Absolutely. I would say success is consistently doing the right things over a long period of time. And a lot of times people want to be, kind of get rich quick or overnight success by, I did a good cut today, so, that's going to be a customer for life. And the next time that person sits in that chair, they don't take the same care and take the same concern, so it doesn't equal to the same quality. Now all of a sudden they may lose that client. Whereas one thing I know, just kind of firsthand, the way you've kind of gone about doing your business, that every time I sat in your chair, I got the same quality service each and every time. There were no, you didn't skip any steps. You didn't say, okay, Wilbur's been a customer of mine for, a couple years now. He's been, him, his kids, his family, I know he's with me. You didn't take that for granted. You continue to do the same thing over and over and over again. And to me, that's what makes you successful. Anybody can be a one-hit wonder and, be nice to those clippers one time, but can you consistently do it and be repetitious about it?
Well, it's having those values. To me, it's the three things. That's what the Fade Factory is built on: is quality, consistency, and convenience. If we don't provide those three basic values, we have not been able to take care of the people the way we need to. It's not about self and image. It's about providing for them. And when you continuously keep that mindset of your clients, you will continuously grow. It's when someone feels that they reach a certain level that now they are the reason why they are in the position they are. And that's not the case. The people is what got you where you needed to be.
So people take care of you. You take care of them.
That's it.
Always keep the person first. Always keep, like I say, quality, care, and concern. And everything you do, doing it with a service heart. I mean, when you do that, it continues to grow, continues to manifest itself, and you can continue to improve. And I think that's something that a lot of people miss out on, is that they fail to be able to continue to improve in whatever area of craft they're in, because they went from a position of, thinking about the client and putting the client first to all of a sudden putting themselves first. If I'm always putting the client first, I'm always going to be seeking new and more innovative ways to improve the way I do my job and become a better professional at my job. When you start putting yourself first, then you think, okay, I made it, I arrived. People are now taking, whatever service that I provide to them, they're happy with it. So now I become comfortable, which makes me a little bit more lazy, which makes me, my level and quality of service start to lack. And that's where a lot of business owners make their biggest mistakes, because they become comfortable. One of the biggest phrases I like to tell people, and I use all the time, is that you have to become comfortable being uncomfortable. Exactly. You have to always be striving for improvement, striving to, take yourself to the next level. And you can be doing that a number of different ways. And you've, like I said, continue to push yourself in different areas, continue to challenge yourself, because, of course, I know firsthand, it's a tough, daunting task to step out on faith and start that business.
Right.
For me, what are some things that you felt like you needed to put in place that you didn't have before you stepped into business? Because we all go through that, am I financially in the right position? Do I have the right kind of support? So, what was the deciding factor for you to take that leap?
Well, faith is number one. That's always going to be number one. Doesn't matter what it is. Faith. Two is coming up with a process. If you don't have a process in place, you'll never reach any destination, because you have nothing to go off of. You can't wing business. Business is not one thing that you could just come up with off the wing, just off the top of your head. It doesn't work like that. And so you have to continuously follow your process and make sure that everybody in your business is following your process. So now you're generating little U's, mini U's. So everybody has that same mindset and we're all on one accord. And for me, that's what's important.
Well, based on what we just shared, you know, that's how he helped close the wealth gap within your own barbershop, by creating a process, a repetitive process that people can now duplicate, which has allowed you to duplicate yourself, which allows, because you're not replicating yourself in other barbers around the area, that's helping everybody that's involved with your shop to grow and provide a better life for themselves. And that's how we continue to close the wealth gap.